So I've just watched the Autodoc video and they made it look so easy, but getting this top ball joint out was an absolute bitch. So I thought I'd upload just to show, just this one little clip, just to help you guys as like tips if you're attempting to do this yourself. So I've got a bar across the bottom there because I don't have a proper tool, and then I've got this big wedge, and I've just hammered that wedge in, and it did help pop it up. Obviously I had to take that bolt out as well, but I did mark everything up so I know where everything goes back, so I can put everything back, line it all up, and it should be okay. But yeah, like I say, I was just showing you this because they make it look so easy on that Autodoc video, and I just thought, while I'm doing the wheel bearing and I'm attempting to do it myself, I thought this was a pretty cool tip. That's why I haven't filmed anything up to this process, because I wasn't going to do any filming. Right, let's put you down there and I'm going to crack on. If I have any more problems or any more tips, I will let you know. Autodoc made it look so easy, just tapping out that brake disc mount, that centre bit of the hub there. He hit it twice and it popped out. This one, I had to beat the life out of it to get it out. Obviously using the right side socket to go inside to push it out. But you can see what's happened here. I mean, this bearing, it wasn't great. So what's happened is that part of the race, the inner race, is stuck to that part of the hub, and that part of the outer race is in that other half of the hub. So I need to get that circlip out, and I'm struggling because this all seems to be seized in. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this down to the garage and see if they can press it out and press a new one in and help me out, because mate, I wish I had the tools, and I don't really have. It's been a long time since I've done a wheel bearing. I think like the late 90s I last done a wheel bearing. So yeah, I'll just leave it to the professionals. Right, so I thought what I would do is I'd get this half of the bearing off anyway, at least. Yeah, I just whacked a grinder through it. I've nicked it a little bit there, just tiny little nick, but it should be fine. It'll be all right. I ain't worried about that. So yeah, it's hardened metal, so trying to just hammer and chisel it off, trying to chisel it round, the chisel wasn't doing shit to it. It was just bouncing off. So the old grinder come out and we cut that off. And then with the circlip, which I have been trying to do myself, I did borrow a set of circlip pliers, but the pliers that I borrowed, they don't quite go big enough, so that's slightly annoying. I mean, I'm probably never going to do a job like this again, so I don't really need to go buy myself a set of circlip pliers, but I've tried using other kind of tools and I can't get that out. Definitely going to the mechanics to get them to, help me, or see if they'll give me the tools to get the job done myself. Right, so I'm back now from the mechanics, from their workshop. Mate, I had to use this bag, my old military bag, because this is the only bag that's man enough to carry that hub, because that hub weighs, I think, just over 10 kilos all in all. Yeah, you couldn't carry it on a bag, and of course taking the trekker, riding down there, it was, it wouldn't have been advisable trying to carry it in a carrier bag, so I used my bag. Oh mate, they're really helpful in the garage where I went. Ace Automotives, I think they're called. Yeah, it's mad. Really helpful, but I didn't know what I was doing. Well, I kind of know what I'm doing, but I was a bit scared and didn't want to. I just didn't want it going wrong, but it did go wrong because. Yeah, they left me to my own devices there. And they were just like, yeah, there you go, it's over there. Just, oh man, I'm a dickhead. So, pressing the bearing in and that, A couple of the guys there, they helped me out, and they pretty much done it for me. But then putting the brake disc mount back on, that was a little bit of a pain because it's quite a tight fit, and I didn't do it right. I pressed from the brake disc down into the bearing, and I didn't support the underside of the bearing, the back side of the race. And because I didn't really do it properly, and I didn't really know what I was doing, when I pushed that brake disc mount back into the centre of the hub, into the centre of that bearing, it popped the back end of that bearing race out. And straight away, in my mind, I was just like, oh, I fucked it. Oh my God, what a dickhead. But, I just used air press and put something underneath and pressed the bearing back together again, and just hoped for the best. So, bearing might be knackered, or it might be alright. There's only one way to tell, and that is to get it all back together and give it a go. And if it's failed, then at least I know next time when I'm doing the bearing to always support the underside of the bearing as well, so it can't push all the way through when you're putting the brake disc mount back on into that centre of the bearing. I hope I've made sense, because I didn't take any of my camera gear, and I should have done, really, thinking about what happened. I should have really taken even just this camera here, just a little one, little sports camera, just to show you my little cock-ups and errors, which would have, helped you guys if you guys ever attempt this yourself. But I don't know. Well, I'm just going to crack on here. We'll get it all back together, and I'll speak to you guys in a bit. Okay, so I got it all back together last night. It didn't take me all that much longer to get it all back together, and it wasn't a big job at all. So I've been out this morning already, took it for a test drive, and everything seems fine. No issues at all, so I'm happy with that. Just hope that the bearing holds out. And while I was on my test drive, I swung by the garage, Ace Automotives, like I said before, and they sorted out my aircon for me, because I know there was I know I was going to use Dave, and Dave took it all out, and I will leave a link for Dave down below. But because I've got wiring problems as well, I thought, well, I'll go to the garage, get them to do it, and we'll have a quick look and have a chat with them. And because they sorted me right out yesterday, let me use their hydraulic press. And so also, while out on my little test drive, I keep checking for oil leaks, and I actually found this oil leak, and it kept baffling me. I didn't know where it was coming from, and it's right underneath there, and it's on the hook, the clamp, for the power steering pipe. So but I was like, that's a bit strange. I can't see any more oil around there. So I wiped everything up, and it was really weird, because it's not oil. I was like, well, that's not oil. But it's what it is. It's a mixture of oil and all the gunk, and because this power steering pipe that runs from the actual reservoir down to the pump, it's a double layered pipe, and what's happening is this lid isn't sealing properly, and what's happening is this fluid here, because it's at the top, I can see why they used to run it before at the bottom, and never used to fill it all the way to the top. Well, that reservoir used to be half empty, and it's because when you're accelerating and braking, it swishes backwards and forwards, and then it overflows, and it runs down this pipe, and it runs down the inside of the pipe. So all of the crap that's inside of that pipe, it washes it all out, and so I've got power steering fluid that's coming through and then dripping off this little bracket here. So I don't know whether I've sorted the problem out. All I've done is just done that as tight as I can. That is literally all I've done. So with the aircon pump, the problem is that there's a broken wire on the connector that goes into the aircon pump. So I'm going to go over to JVS, go to see Matt, and he can wire that up for me, because we're off tomorrow. Bug jam. Happy days. Anyway, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Hopefully some of these tips have helped you out. If they have, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, and I'll see you all very soon. Take care, stay safe, and God bless.